In fall 2013, we received a referral at the University of Arkansas Speech and Hearing Clinic for a gentleman with a pre-existing condition, neurogenic speech disorder, which arose from a previous stroke he had in 1993. At the time he presented to our clinic, his speech was halting, his prosody was disrupted, which is very important in English. He experienced some delays with word retrieval. And at the word level, he often added or omitted syllables and distorted or prolonged sounds that contained R's and L's. We assessed him. We determined that he had a poor prognosis for benefiting from a medical rehabilitation-oriented model, and in discussions with Professor Chioffi, determined it would be best to engage in a participation-based approach in order to facilitate his ability to interact and teach in his classroom. And so we engaged in an ethnographic study of really what were the problems, what was being communicated, how did it break down, where might we be able to intervene. So as we left the clinic and began the ethnographic phase of our intervention, several theoretical perspectives informed our observations. These included Vygotskian-based theories of mediated action, activity-based theories, theories of multimodal and digital literacies, and cognitive linguistics, and conceptual metaphor theory, cognitive semantics. What we saw in the classroom, really what we were observing, was a mixture of oral and literate sorts of activities intertwined. And what we were looking for during this phase were aspects employing various mediational means which could be modified, replaced, changed, redesigned, and various practices which could also be modified as we needed to. Things we were looking for as we're observing were what sort of things really increased David's ability to engage with his students in a productive way, allowing him to maintain his focus in the classroom, and also looking at things, of course, that contributed to break down inefficiencies and frustration when he was trying to communicate with his students. So a very common activity that we observed during our observations was David conducting student critiques with his classes. David repeatedly emphasized how important it was for his students to be able to work constructively in teams and to be able to provide positive critiques and critical feedback to one another in a professional manner. He was trying to enculturate them into what he considered an essential type of professional discourse. A repeated use of metaphor and metonymy was observed in both the linguistic, textual, and visuospatial assets students chose for their conceptual artifacts. A pedagogical approach was taken to increase conceptual fluency throughout the classroom. Lectures and student exercises targeting notions of metaphor and metonymy were conducted with the students. And as a result, we noticed an advancement in mutual understanding. Students demonstrated an ability to articulate their conceptual reasoning more succinctly, and David unexpectedly demonstrated a corresponding increase in his verbal fluency.